Welcome to a new video for Powers and Exponents. In this video I'm gonna be solving easy questions. In the next video I'm planning to solve some more challenging questions. So let's get started. You can solve this question in two ways. The first way is you can just calculate these numbers and then put them inside the equation and then just make the calculation. Just you can calculate these values. For example, 3 to the power of 2 is what? 9. So just put 9 here, and then 1 minus 3 to the power of 4 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 divided by 1 minus 9. So this is going to be equal to 9 times. This term is, if you multiply 4 3's, then you're going to have 81. So 1 minus 81. The denominator part is negative 8. So from here we have 9 times. In the numerator part we have negative 80. In the denominator we have negative 8. Negative divided by negative is going to be positive. So we can just make those plus. And this is 9 times, if you divide 80 by 8 you're going to have 10, and if you multiply 9 by 10 you're going to have 90. This is the first way, and the second way is it's going to be a little bit longer actually. 3 squared times, if you remember, a squared minus b squared was a minus b times a plus b. So from this point of view, let me write it here. 1 minus 3 to the power of 4 is 1 minus 3 squared times 1 plus 3 squared. You can factor this expression like 1 minus 3 squared times 1 plus 3 squared divided by 1 minus 3 squared. As you can see, these terms are gone. Okay, the leftover is 3 squared times 1 plus 9. So this is 9 already, and this is 10 already. If you multiply these numbers, and still you're gonna get the same answer, 90. And second question. Here also we're gonna have another multiple choice questions. If you want to solve it by ourselves, we can just pause the video and then try to solve it. Otherwise I'll keep going. If you realize we have some like terms. For example, here we have 15 to the power of 13. We have another 15 to the power of 13 and another 15 to the power of 13. So if we take the whole expression into 15 to the power of 13 parentheses, then we need to put here 1. Why? Because if you multiply 1 by 15 to the power of 13, you can get the same term. So for this term, what I'm gonna write here, I'm gonna put here 6 because this term is multiplied by 6. So I'm gonna put here 6. For the next number, I'm gonna put here 8. So if you remember the order of operations, we need to do the parentheses here first. So if you add them up, it's gonna be another 15. So 15 to the power of 13 times 15. If you remember, in this multiplication the bases are same, so we need to add the powers up, and once you do that you have 15 to the power of 14, and as you can see the answer is B. Now let's continue with the next one. This is another multiple choice question. We can solve this question in this way. For example, 2 times 0.2 to the power of 3. By the way, about points, in some countries this is 1 divided by 10 can be represented as 0,1, and in some other countries the same thing is represented as 0.1. In my whole calculations I'm gonna represent 1 divided by 10 as 0.1, so I'm gonna use point in my whole questions. So let's get back to the question again. 0.2 can be written as 2 divided by 10 to the power of 3 plus 0.4 can be written as 4 divided by 10 to the power of 3. Here, this 3 comes to the both numerator and denominator as a power, so it's going to be 2 times 2 to the power of 3 divided by 10 to the power of 3 plus 4 to the power of 3 divided by 10 to the power of 3. And if you continue, 2 times 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Divided by 10 to the power of 3 is 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1000, plus 4 to the power of 3 is 64, divided by 10 to the power of 3 is 1000, and here you need to multiply 2 by 8, which is 16. 16 divided by 1000 plus 64 divided by, it should be 1000. 1000, as you can see the denominators are same, so we can add the numerators up here, and if you add 16 by 64 you're gonna have 80 divided by 1000. We can simplify this fraction as you can cross out these zeros, and then the leftover is 8 divided by 100, and this fraction can be written as, just write the numerator here because 100 has 2 zeros, so by starting from the right side count 2 times towards to the left side. 1, 2, put the point here, put 0 here, and then put 0. here, and then just ignore this one. So it's gonna be 0.08, which is B. And now let's take a look at the next question. In this question, suppose that x and y are real numbers, and in this case 2 to the power of x minus 2 to the power of negative y times, in the parentheses, 2 to the power of x plus y minus 2 is what? The question looks like very difficult, but actually all we need to do is just, if you distribute this 2 to the power of negative y into the parentheses here, then it's gonna be very easy. All we need to do is calculate the rest of the terms, and then we can find the solution. Okay, so just let's start with distributing this number into the parentheses. Let me write the first term, 2 to the power of x minus 2 to the power of negative y times 2 to the power of x plus y minus, actually here minus times minus or negative times negative is going to be positive, so I'm going to put here plus here, 2 to the power of negative y times 2. And here I'm talking about the second term. The bases are same, so we need to add the powers up. I want to do that. Let me write the first term again, 2 to the power of x minus 2 to the power of negative y plus x plus y plus 2 to the power of negative y. Actually, in the last term there is 1, right? Because 2 is to the power of 1, the same thing. So here it's going to be negative y plus 1. And as you can see, in the second term, this is negative y, this is positive y. These are gone, so the leftover is 2 to the power of x from the first term, minus we have 2 to the power of x for the second term, plus for the last term we have 2 to the power of negative y plus 1. And the next step, as you can see, this is positive and this is negative, so these are gone, and the leftover is going to be the answer, which is 2 to the power of negative y plus 1, which means that the answer is C in this question. Now let's continue with the next question. In this question, again, we're going to find the result of this fraction. It looks like very complicated, but all we need to do is we need to find the like terms in the numerators actually to simplify it by the denominator. So in such questions, you need to look at exponents, which one is the smallest number. For example, the second term in the numerator, we have 92. In the first one, the exponent is 93. So you need to consider the smallest one in such case. The smallest number is 2 to the power of negative 2 in the numerator part. So I'll take the whole expression into 2 to the power of 92 parentheses as following. 2 to the power of 92 times, if I multiply 2 to the power of 92 by a number, the result is going to be 2 to the power of 93. So 2 to the power of 1 should be coming over here. Why? Because once you distribute this, and if you multiply these, you should get the first term as 2 to the power of 93. And then because here there is negative, okay, so I should put here negative as well. And the last term here, this is 2 to the power of 92. So I'm going to just put here 1, because 1 times 2 to the power of 92 is going to be 2 to the power of 92. Divided by 2 to the power of 94 can be written as 2 to the power of 92 times 2 to the power of 2. Because the bases are same, and if you add the exponents, you got the same number as 2 to the power of 94. Why I wrote them like this? Because I want to cross out these values, okay? And the leftovers are 2 to the power of 1 is 2, minus 1 divided by 2 to the power of 2 is 4. So if you subtract 1 from 2, you're going to have 1 divided by 4, which means that the answer is A. And now let's take a look at the next question, which is going to be, it looks like the last question for this video. We have another kind of question here. 3 to the power of A minus 3 is 9. If this is the case, and then what is the value of 2 to the power of A? In the given expression, let me rewrite it again. So it's going to be 3 to the power of A minus 3 is, as we all know, 9 can be written as 3 to the power of 2. So as you can see, the bases are same, and now the powers should be same as well. A minus 3 should be equal to 2. If we send this 3, negative 3 to the other side, we're going to have A is equal to 5. So we already got what is A, and now we can easily calculate 2 to the power of A, which means 2 to the power of 5, which is 2 times 2 times 2, 3, 4, 5. If you multiply 2 times 2, you got 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. So the answer is 32. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.